Hey guys, we've got a 10-minute game against an opponent rated about 950, I think. Hard to tell. What's that? 595. Okay, so about 600 rated. So we're going to play the classical opening. Okay, we have the Italian on the board. And I'm going to go for this. I'm expecting the knight to come in, and if so, I'm going to try the Traxler counter-attack, which is maybe a bit mean, but it's lots of fun. Knight can't take. Okay, so he's gone for the castles instead of going all out on the attack. Makes sense. Alright, so I'm just going to play h6 now and prevent the knight from coming in. Right, this bishop really belongs here. But that's okay, but then that would just invite c3. So there we go. There I've got three attackers. Lifting the queen. Alright. Okay, I'm going to play d6, I think, get my bishop out in the board. Even there. Basically, what we're going to be looking for tactics here. Alright, so I've got the option of bishop to here, and if takes, I just open up some space there. Could be fun. But let's attack the knight. The only defender of the knight right now is this g-pawn. Okay. Am I concerned about this? If knight takes my knight, I open up the g-file. So we could potentially open up the whole g-file. That could be lots of fun. Okay, let's play queen d7. Gives this pawn a defender. Oh, thank you very much. I have a whole open file now to explore. Okay, so now the obvious move is like queen h3, or we've got rook g8. Now, rook g8 is more forcing because it comes with checks, and then the king's going to have to move. I don't think the king's going to move there. I think we have to play this move first. The threat is this, with checkmate. Okay, and then this is another check, so now the king's going to have to come out into the board, or else this is mate. Alright, interesting times. Check. King has to move here or here now. I think d1 is the better move. That is not the better move. And now it's time for tactics. Okay? The king is in line with the bishop. Blocked only by my own piece, the knight. The knight is able to move to b3 and attack the queen with the discovered check. Okay, so the pawn's going to have to block, or the king's going to have to move back. But anyway, I'm going to win the queen, one way or another. One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way. Alright, do we have a even verse tactic? Don't think so. I think we've grabbed a queen. King recaptures, there's a free pawn. Bishop recaptures, there is not, but there's a free pawn here all the same. Okay, let's grab this one, because now I have a bishop and a queen. You can see, people are often mystified about what's the difference between a 500 player and a 1500 player. Well, we shall examine that in a minute. Okay, I think the king has to come onto the back rank now. Then I've got this, force an exchange of rooks, yeah? Check. Rook has to take, queen takes, check. King comes to here, okay. Alright, now I have bishop here. This bishop is pinned, so cannot capture. Just trade off. Rook has to take. Put my queen in here. I should probably castle next. If I can. It's a queen here. If the rook, well, I'm going to win the pawn anyway. Actually, win the pawn, and now I can castle, get my king to safety. This pawn is actually hanging, so I'm going to come back here and defend this pawn. Why not? Okay, is the rook going to come here? Is that the idea? With two attackers on that pawn. Check. Wins the rook. This is a fork. I'm forking the king and the rook with check. The only way to block is rook there, but then queen takes. So all game over. Right then. Thank you to my opponent. Now, what went wrong? Okay. And what's he rated? 500? Just under 500? Just under 600. Okay. Normal. Italian opening. All normal. This is just prophylactic. I don't want to get into trouble here. Another option here is simply to develop the bishop, and then if the knight comes in, so if we go back a move, let's say I just develop my bishop, like a gioco piano. If the knight then comes into here, I simply castle, and then the rook is defending this pawn. But we play that. This is all normal. I bet this position has been seen countless times. Queen lift confused me slightly. I think one of the issues with this is it's blocking off this bishop. So minor pieces first and generally knights before bishop. So I'd probably have played knight to c3 here. And then even bishop to here. If bishop takes, pawn takes, this is all good. Opens up the rook. Bishop can't come there or there. So yeah, I think these would be probably my next moves, or even bishop to there. And then develop the queen. So early queen development. Now the knight comes out, that's good. Pin the knight, and here you have to spot that the knight is only defended once, and it's defended by a very important defensive pawn. So we really need to defend the knight another way. And actually the queen's the only piece that can do it, I think. Yeah. Okay, but instead knight comes in. I'm not concerned about that, and here we have just a strategic defensive blunder, really. I mean, he has to take the bishop, right? But now when I move my queen to defend this pawn, that is just, I mean, positionally, it's just so wrong, because now he's inviting me to capture with my g-pawn, and now the entire g-file is open, okay? Where's his king? In the open. Where are all his pieces unable to come to the defense of the king? All of them. This bishop's got no future in there. Can't do anything. The queen can't come here or here. The bishop is still blocked in. This rook hasn't moved. And you know, it could have been probably been over even quicker than that, I dare say. But okay, and now a simple tactic. Discovered check with a double attack on the queen, wins the queen, and we saw the rest. So there you go. It just goes to show how, you know, some sloppy moves early on in the game can make a very real difference. And opening up the G file, 2 mistakes, allowing the G file to be opened here. So the first one was this. White needed to defend this knight. This knight is a key piece, and you cannot leave it defended only by the g-pawn. If it's defended only by the g-pawn, you're asking for trouble. Takes, gone. And now this compounds the error. That knight is in a good place. It's in my face. It's in black's half of the board, right? It's the only piece that's in the opponent's half. And white hasn't finished development. So moving the queen early was inaccurate. Failing to develop the dark squared bishop and this rook are the consequences of that inaccuracy. So it compounds, right? And here he should have just left the knight there. Leave the knight there. If I was to take his knight, he can capture with the bishop, which is then in a nice position, or he can capture with a pawn, probably less good. But allowing me to capture is fine for white there. But this, catastrophic. Yeah, and before you know it, it's all over, and the game just runs away from white. There you go. So if you're around the 600 mark, take these lessons to heart. They will very, very much help you. Brilliant. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.